The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Personal Safety Show. This is Marcus Melnick, your host, with Firearm Mentor and Stress to Logic. And we are continuing the conversation with the gentleman from Tactical Grit, which is a waterless lead neutralizing cleaning product for use after the range. We were just going to get into different trade shows. What trade shows do you participate in? Or are planning to?
We were at the Security and Police Expo with you. We are going to be doing, there's a trade show in Itasca in mid-October, which is I believe, a homicide investigation focused trade show. We are going to be participating in the SHOT Show in Las Vegas in January of 2025. We have also looked into a couple chiefs of police conferences, trying to figure out where we can go from there. And then, from an end user perspective, to kind of get the word out to the masses, there are constantly within the Midwest and all over the country, those shows every month where guys come out and you can buy your ammo, you can buy this, you can buy that. We have a couple people in line for a sales pipe across the country to go out there, get a table, have products with them, explain to the visitors of those shows what it is we do, and then sell the product right then and there, or direct them to the website.
That's terrific. What I'd like to do is offline kind of brainstorm with you on, because I'm targeting similar conferences. I may know of some that you don't know. You may know of some that I don't know. And I'm soliciting to speak at these conferences. So I would love to offline just give you the list of places I've been booked at and see if you can get in there. I'm happy to share.
Absolutely. Yeah, would absolutely love that. As far as anything that we know that you don't know, I'm thinking you are miles and miles ahead of us with the inroads you made. We did get some suggestions made to us at the show from officers saying, you guys should go here, you should go there. But it is a very short list. I know there was one that was popping up in Kansas City, the second week of September. And I can get you that information, but they were sold out from a exhibitor standpoint. Okay. But I'm thinking, you're going to have a lot more robust list than I will. But we can certainly exchange that information.
I'm wondering if you can, and this is going to sound silly, but this is my idea, contract with firearm manufacturers to include a couple packets in each gun that they sell. I like them apples. That's my idea. Yeah, so
it's something we've thought about. It's definitely, we have another high school friend of ours that moved out to Arizona. His dad was a former FBI agent in Chicago when we were growing up, and he manufactures parts for guns.
Perfect.
In Arizona. So I'm going to be out there in October meeting with him. Same thing, figure out how we can collaborate, and help each other.
Okay, terrific. Can you both tell our listeners, again, reiterate what your website and social media sites are and where they can contact you if they have questions about the product or would like to make a purchase?
Yeah. So the website address is www.tactical-grit.com. Again, make sure you include that hyphen. So TACTICAL-grit.com. That is a website you can visit. It tells you about us, our story. It lists the products that you can purchase right there from the website and everything else. From a social media standpoint, the social media icons are on the website, but from a Facebook standpoint, you can just look us up at tacticalgrit.com. And then from an Instagram perspective, our user is at tacticalgrit.
Beautiful. What final thoughts can you share regarding the gun industry as a whole and specifically about Tactical Grit that maybe I didn't ask?
I was shooting about a year ago with my daughter, who's in her early 20s now and has probably been shooting with me since she was about 16. And like you and a lot of other people, I was done on the range, and she went into the ladies' bathroom and I went into the men's bathroom, started washing my hands, and I was just, that the soap smelled bad. I knew it wasn't doing anything. They were not even using a product like D-Lead. It was just cheap hand soap. And I came out and I was kind of aggravated because, I've been shooting more often. I have, my longtime girlfriend is a intensive care nurse. She's always harping on health risks and health, keeping healthy. And my daughter looked at me and she said, if you're not happy about it, do something about it.
Nice.
And using my background with labs and manufacturing and packaging, got to work on it. And obviously guns are a very hot topic in this country and around the world, frankly. But again, we're not necessarily promoting guns or the sport or anything. We're here to help with a problem that has been around for a long time and probably is not talked about nearly enough. Whether it's with our military, who are literally around lead every single day of their lives, our police, the general public, bringing it home to your families and keeping them safe. And that's what we're here for. We're really just I feel like we created a unique product that really does solve a problem, or at least helps solve a problem.
Terrific.
Yeah, and
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Coming from me, again, somebody who hasn't fired a gun, I am not pro-gun. I am not anti-gun. I understand they are prevalent, right, in our culture, very prevalent in our culture. They are, like Todd said, a very hot topic, whether you believe in the ability to have them, whether you're worried about the government coming to take them, whatever it is. Your belief is your belief. We're not trying to force a belief on anyone. What we are trying to do is help those people that choose to carry a firearm or due to their careers carry a firearm. Just trying to make sure that they are, at the end of the day, a little bit safer, them and their families and everybody that cares about them. So if you're anti-gun and you don't believe in what we do, it's very simple. You don't need to purchase the product because you would probably have no use for it. The way the world is today, everybody feels the need to have something that is black and white. And what we feel is something we created is something that is great. Whether you believe in firearms or not, we are focused on the people that use them for work or the people that use them responsibly and want to make sure at the end of the day, those risks for those people is as low as it could possibly be.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. And I'm going to opine a little bit. And before I do that, I'm going to steal a phrase from your website and thank you for helping us get the lead out. And that's not original. That's from your website. I love the humor in it. There's a nice little introductory video as well on the website, which is tactical-grit.com. I absolutely love the product, and I'm going to do my best to spread the word about it.
Well, we appreciate that greatly.
Of course we do. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
I want my listeners to know that this is my dream, teaching people about safety. If it weren't for you, if it weren't for my listeners, I couldn't live my dream. So on behalf of my family and myself, I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing me to live my dream. And I also want to continue to live my dream, and I'm excited to continue to spread the word of safety. Recently, I began a new service as a conference keynote speaker. So if anyone would like for me to speak at future events, or if anyone knows of an introduction or would like to discuss how we can work with one another, I'd love to do just that. The keynote speaking website is www.stress2logic.com. That is STRESS 2 logic.com. If you're aware of any conference speaking engagements where you'd like to have me speak, I'd love an introduction. You can always share my electronic business card, which is Marcus Melnick, MarcusMelnick.com. Now, back to the show. What a great product. I can't wait to start using it on the range. Let me ask my listeners a question. What are you doing now? I mean, right now. What are you doing right now? Well, as this is airing, I am at Buffalo Grove Days in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. I have a table at the Business Expo. I have a nice little wheel. You can spin it and you can win firearms-related prizes like a cleaning brush, keychain. I've got, they look like cylinders. I 3D print them. They are pencil holders. Tons of stuff, and you can drop your name for a free concealed carry class for one person. We will be selecting it after Labor Day. Illegal aliens cannot possess firearms. If somebody is in the United States legally, which means they have a permanent resident green card, or they're here on a visa and they're here legally, they can apply for a FOID card and they can get a firearm. However, the law says that if they are in the United States illegally, they can't. And very recently, within the last 6 months, there was a court case where a federal judge in Illinois said, no, illegal aliens fall under the Constitution and they can actually own firearms. Well, this week, filed August 27th, the United States Court of Appeals for the 5th District heard the case of United States of America versus Jose Paz Medina Cantu, which is an appeal. The court ruled that anyone in the United States illegally cannot own a firearm. And I'm going to go through the court case. It's a decision. The number is USDC number 2:22-CR, as in Charlie Robert, -426-1. In the case, there is a prohibition against an illegal alien from possessing a firearm or ammunition, and this prohibition is constitutional under the Second Amendment. In the present case, another Second Amendment challenge argued that the first case had been abrogated by the Supreme Court's decisions in the New York Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin. States versus Rahimi says the government, on the other hand, contends that this is good law. The court says we agree with the government and hold that the Supreme Court's decision in Bruin and Rahimi did not unequivocally prevent the plaintiff's precedent. As such, under this circuit court's rule of orderliness, we are bound to follow Portillo Munoz. The district court judgment is affirmed. So the defendant / appellate, Jose Paz Medina Cantu, was charged with possession of a firearm and ammunition as an illegal alien in violation of the law, and illegal re-entry into the United States also. On November 14th, 2022, Medina Cantu moved to dismiss the count of his indictment, charging him with unlawful possession, arguing that it is unconstitutional in light of the Bruin decision. The district court denied his motion, holding that Bruin did not abrogate the court's decision in the previous case, which held that, quote, the phrase "the people" in the Second Amendment of the Constitution does not include aliens illegally in the United States. So on February 23rd, 2023, he appeared before the district court and pled guilty to both counts of his indictment without a plea agreement. During the hearing, he expressly preserved his argument that the law is unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. And on May 31st, 2023, the district court sentenced him to 15 months of imprisonment, followed by 2 years of supervised release. This appeal followed. On appeal, the person said that it is unconstitutional in the light of Bruin, this is a redundant document that I'm going over with you. And as noted above, he's saying that I should have a gun. It says it in the Second Amendment. And it went back and forth and back and forth. And the court adjudicated the constitutionality in light of the Supreme Court's decision in Heller, which held that the Second Amendment guarantees an individual right to possess and carry firearms. But the Supreme Court in Heller did not purport to clarify the entire field of the Second Amendment, and the court's language did provide some guidance as to the meaning of the term the people as it is used in the Second Amendment. Namely, it was highlighted that the Second Amendment, quote, surely elevates above all other interests the rights of law-abiding, responsible citizens to use arms in the defense of hearth and home. And that's quoted from Heller. This court also noticed that the court's conclusions that the term the people is generally employed in the Constitution to refer to all, quote, all members of the political community, and that there is a strong presumption that the Second Amendment right is exercised individually and belongs to all Americans. I'm so fucking aggravated right now. Drawing upon this language, in Heller, the court concluded that illegal aliens are not law-abiding, responsible citizens or members of the political community, and aliens who enter or remain in this country illegally and without authorization are not Americans, as that word is commonly understood. Accordingly, the court held that the Second Amendment protections do not extend to illegal aliens and is therefore constitutional under the Second Amendment. In Bruin, the Supreme Court clarified the proper framework for adjudicating Second Amendment challenges, and the court noted that lower courts since Heller have developed a two-step test for assessing Second Amendment claims. At step one, the government could justify its regulation by establishing that the challenged law regulates activity falling outside of the scope of the right as originally understood. If the government was able to show that the regulated conduct falls outside of the Second Amendment's original scope, the court would conclude that the regulated activity is unprotected. If the historical evidence at step one was inconclusive or suggested that the regulated activity is not categorically unprotected, the courts would move on to step two and analyze how close the law comes to the core of the Second Amendment right and severity of the law's burden on that right. If a core Second Amendment right was burdened, the court applied a strict scrutiny standard. Otherwise, the court would apply intermediate scrutiny. So let me opine here. I've been telling my students in class, I almost said kids, I've been telling my students in class that illegal aliens cannot own firearms, and then I give a little asterisk and I said, but there is a court case that says that they can, it's under appeal. Now I can officially tell them that, yes, illegal aliens cannot own firearms. So if someone is in the United States legally and in Illinois, and they've applied for a FOID card, and they go to purchase a gun, the background check is exactly the same as it is when a citizen purchases a gun. They are checked against the NICS system, that's National, I forgot what it's called, but it is the criminal database, and against the Illinois Mental Health Reporting Database. And the Illinois Mental Health Reporting Database is a database where patients of psychiatric hospitals or patients hospitalized for psychiatric reasons are reported to the state. That database is daily cross-referenced with the FOID database, and FOIDs are revoked if somebody has to go into the hospital for a psychiatric reason, or they're seeing a therapist and the therapist believes that they are a threat to themselves or others. Now, just because somebody uses prescription anti-anxiety medication or has depression or has panic attacks, they are not disqualified from owning a firearm. However, if they are hospitalized, they are disqualified from owning a firearm for 5 years. And they will have to either turn them in to the state police or have some sort of disposition where they've been transferred to another person. Now, I don't really know of anyone who has been psychiatrically hospitalized and had their FOID card revoked. However, I do know of a couple cases where it was a self-defense case, the FOID was revoked. I've talked about it before, and the victim in this case is the one who had the FOID card revoked, and he's trying to get his FOID card back. It was revoked pending the case, but to be honest, he's still fighting. I don't really love the way that this system is set up. I think the FOID is decent in doing background checks. So the bottom line, folks, is that we cannot own firearms if we are in the country illegally. They are not here legally. Therefore, the right of the Second Amendment does not apply. I think this is a good decision. In other news this week, the CTA just got a little bit safer, I think. According to CBS News, the CTA, or the Chicago Transit Authority, on Thursday announced the rollout of software designed to detect guns on the L, and it is powered by artificial intelligence. The CTA started rolling out this technology about a month ago as part of a smaller pilot program. The transit agency said it is not releasing the exact locations where the technology is being used for security reasons, but said this week that it targeted stations across its systems. In a promotional video, Zero Eyes said it uses existing surveillance video cameras coupled with its own artificial intelligence to detect guns. The CTA on Thursday also shared a demonstration of the Zero Eyes software on the Blue Line using various types of guns in different locations. In the demonstration, the AI software picked up a long gun held by an actor on the platform. Then it identified a handgun near the ticket turnstiles, and then another handgun drawn alongside the tracks. The CTA said Zero Eyes staff verify if the object detected is actually a brandished firearm, and then notify local law enforcement to respond immediately. Zero Eyes says its verification experts are military trained. The CTA emphasized that the Pennsylvania-based Zero Eyes does not use facial recognition technology. Right now, only platform cameras, not trained cameras, are outfitted with the tech. Zero Eyes technology is currently in use at major transit agencies and schools around the country, and in Chicago, it is already being used at Navy Pier. The company is not without its critics, of whom Edwin Yanka of the American Civil Liberties Union, Illinois, is one. He said, "Where's the discussion of why this is necessary, or what it'll do in the public in a transparent way? Instead, we get, a press release from a company that is promoting its product." Yanka pointed to issues with false alarms, like a case last October when a shadow cast by a student's arm triggered a lockdown at a school in Texas. He also takes issue with the growing network of surveillance blanketing the city. Yanka's biggest concern is transparency for riders. There ought to be not only a hearing before such things are installed, but there ought to be periodic reports that actually look at what the effectiveness and efficiencies of such technologies are, he said. A CTA spokesperson said that the Zero Eyes technology is just complementing the security efforts we already have in place. The CTA has a 1-year contract with Zero Eyes valued at up to $200,000. So I'm going to say that it's not going to do an x-ray of you and detect a firearm that somebody is carrying, whether they have a concealed carry permit or they are a nefarious actor. Now, you cannot carry a firearm via the concealed carry law on public transportation because it is funded by the government. So if you think back to the article or you rewind this on YouTube, it is only detecting brandished weapons. It's interesting. I'm going to try to get someone from Zero Eyes on here to explain how the technology works. If they will even come on the show, I don't know. But stay tuned. I hope you guys stop by Buffalo Grove Days. I'm at the business fair right now. I'll be here till 7 p.m. And the business fair is also tomorrow from noon to 4. Great thing about Buffalo Grove Days is they have fantastic food. They have great entertainment, although the music I don't think is going to be playing while I'm there. So come by at 6, have dinner, listen to the music, stop by, say hi. I'd love to meet some of my listeners. With that said, I hope you enjoyed the show. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll be bringing you more information. Thank you. We have monthly concealed carry license CCL classes in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. Dates can be seen at firearmmentor.com/classes. If you have a question, we can be reached at www.firearmmentorcard.com. That is our electronic business card, has all of our contact information and links in it. It's the easiest way to get a hold of us. Until next time, stay safe out there, and I'll see you at the shooting range. This is Marcus Melnick from Firearm Mentor signing off. The views expressed are not those of local community broadcasting, WYML LP, or its management, volunteers, or underwriters.